Hello and Assalamu alaikum. Today I'm going to show you how to make keema samosas. To start off with, I'll show you what you need for your filling for the keema and also the ingredients for your pastry dough. So for the filling you need 1 kilogram of mutton mince, 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, 10 finely chopped green chilies, a small bunch of finely chopped coriander, 2 tablespoons of cumin seeds, half a tablespoon of black pepper, 2 tablespoons of coriander powder, 1.5 tablespoons of salt, and 1 large onion finely chopped. For the pastry dough you need 4 cups of plain flour, 70 grams of melted butter, 1 tablespoon of carom seeds and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So I'm going to start showing you how to make the pastry dough. So I'm going to add my plain flour to my bowl, followed by the melted butter into the flour as well, and also the carom seeds and the salt. Now before adding any water to make the dough, I'm going to mix all of these ingredients together and combine them really well so that all of the flour is mixed with the butter. If you don't have an electric mixer, you can do it all by hand, but I just find it's easier in an electric mixer because it's just cleaner and quicker as well. The reason why I'm combining all these ingredients together is it makes sure that you have a nice crispy pastry when you fry the samosa. I'm going to start slowly adding lukewarm water. I used about 200 to 300 millilitres of water, and start off slowly mixing it, and then you can put your speed up on your electric mixer to high and then just let it keep mixing until your dough is a nice tough dough. You don't want it to be soft and sticky, otherwise you won't be able to make good samosas. So once the dough is made, just wrap it in cling film and put it aside in the fridge, ready for when you make your samosas. Next I'm going to show you how to make the filling. So in a large pot add your oil, and once your oil is heated add the minced meat. You need to brown your minced meat, so you need to let all the juices dry out and keep stirring it and make sure that there's no lumps left in your minced meat. After about 5 minutes you can see that the mince has started to change colour. So here now you can see that the mince has been browned and most of the juices have now dried up. So this takes about 10 to 15 minutes to brown. Now that this is brown we can start adding all the other ingredients. So now that the mince is browned, I'm going to start adding the ingredients for the filling. And I'm going to add the coriander powder, the black pepper, the cumin powder, the chopped green chilies, the salt and the finely chopped onion. The coriander, I will leave that until the end once everything has been cooked. So once you've added everything, give the mince a good mix, and I will carry on cooking that for a further 10 to 15 minutes on a medium heat until the onions have softened and changed to a translucent colour. Now you can see that the mince has been cooking for the 10 to 15 minutes and that the oil has started to separate. So you can now add the coriander and give this a mix. At this point you can now taste your seasoning, and if you feel that there's not enough salt or pepper you can add a bit more depending on your taste. Now my filling is done, I'm going to set it aside in a bowl and leave it to cool down, ready to fill my samosa. I'm going to start making the samosa pastry now. So to start off with you need a rolling pin, you need greaseproof paper cut into small squares, your pastry dough that you made earlier, your keema filling that you made earlier, some plain flour for dusting, and a tray covered in baking parchment or greaseproof paper. You also need some water to help you stick your samosa together. So to start off with you need to make small balls, probably about the same size of a golf ball. You need to roll them out into circles, and you need to make sure that your circles are really nice and thin, because if they're thick, once you fry them they're going to taste like dough and they won't be nice and crispy. So cut your circle in half using a pizza cutter or a knife, and make sure that the curved edge is facing towards yourself and that the straight edge is away from you. Then what you need to do is, using a spoon, add about a tablespoon of filling into the middle of your semicircle, and just make sure that there's enough gap around the edges to dab some water around it. So once you've dabbed all your water around the edges, making sure that everything is covered in water, because if there's anything that's left, they won't stick together properly. Then take one corner and bring it to the middle, and using your finger press down the dough so that it sticks. Then bring the other corner into the middle, again using your finger to make sure that everything is stuck down, especially the corner at the top. So just make sure that everything is nicely stuck down using your finger, and that's your first samosa done. So once you've done your samosa, place them on the tray that you lined with baking paper, and then what you do is you basically get the square pieces of paper that you cut earlier, and you just place them in between each samosa so that when you freeze them they don't stick together. Otherwise, if they stick together and you pull them apart, they will break. And here are my samosa all done in the tray with a square piece of parchment paper or baking paper in between each samosa, ready to freeze. In a large grate or a wok, add some oil, and here I've used vegetable oil. Make sure that your oil is really nice and hot, and then once it's hot, add your samosas to the oil and deep fry them for about 2 to 3 minutes until they're a nice golden brown. What you'll notice is that some of the pastry will start to form bubbles on it, and that's where we mixed the melted butter earlier with the flour, so that'll give you a nice crispy pastry. Once they're a nice golden brown, take them out of the oil and drain them on some kitchen paper, and serve nice and hot with some mint chutney. Thanks for watching, and hopefully this video will be helpful for you when you make your samosa in the future. See you soon!